I am suffering from a character crisis in Super Smash Bros. Ultimate. I want to give every character a chance at becoming my main. This month, I returned to my roots and finally became the Piranha Plant main I've always wanted to be. If you also love Piranha Plant, stay tuned to the end for an exclusive interview with Sparg0. And don't forget to like the video and subscribe if you'd like to join me as I go through my character crisis. I'm hosting a Super Smash Bros. Nuzlocke Tournament. Details are in the description. I have always wanted to be a Piranha Plant main. Nobody was ready when this potted plant was announced as the first DLC character for Smash Ultimate. I immediately fell in love. This goofy little guy was unlike any character I had ever played, and something about him clicked with me. But as much as I loved him, the player base quickly identified Piranha Plant as one of the worst characters in the game. When it came time to choose my first main, I decided to pick a top tier instead.
Hi, I'm Daisy!
But I've always wondered what my plant could do if given the chance. When I decided that I would be going to Genesis X, one of the biggest Smash tournaments in the world, I let my patrons choose my next character. Even though they chose the worst character on the poll, I couldn't have been happier. It was finally time to be a part of Plant Gang again. Ever since I first tried to pick him up, I've always known that Plant is bad. He's stubby, slow, is easy to spike. I want to get spiked again. No! No! And really struggles against reflectors.
How much damage did I take from that reflecting?
But despite that, I've always really liked Piranha Plant. There are some things that Plant just does better than any other character in the game. Patooey and Poison Cloud are incredible moves. He's really heavy for no reason. Like, what is he packing in that pot? Solid gold? Wait a minute. For a super heavy, he's really small, which makes him hard to combo and lets him live for a very long time. Piranha Plant also hits stupidly hard. Combine that with the rage he gets for living so long, and he can delete stocks with the right reads. Piranha Plant may be bad, but it did not take me long to prove that he is one of my best characters.
Tied for my highest win-loss record on stream with a day one character.
On day 3 of maining Piranha Plant, I decided to enter Coinbox, and ended up having my best run to date. During my run, I even took a game off Catalyst NB, one of Canada's best players.
Up throw, barely killed. Whew. Was that taunt intentional? I taunted? I didn't even notice.
I placed 193rd out of 1,024 players, going 4-2. If this is what my day 3 plant can do, imagine what I'll be capable of in a month. Could my plant actually have what it takes to do well at Genesis? I practiced, studied, and even got coaching from my good friend Mac. I was starting to think that maybe, just maybe, Plant isn't as bad as everyone thinks. For a low tier, I was getting some of my best results to date. Before I knew it, the month was over, and I was on my way to Genesis. But before we get to that, I'd like to show you some of the best clips I landed while I was part of Plant Gang.
Woo! 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 I feel good about the plant.
That's very sad. Oh, I thought my up arrow hit. That was sick.
Ooh! 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 I love that combo. Oh wait! That's just the stock. Truthfully, it's new every time. Okay. People say the spike is hard to land. I disagree. You're just bad. And then do that. I don't know. Gotcha. You just gotta use it in weird situations. Like, you can't use it as a combo starter, but you can use it as part of your combos. Like that. Okay. You're just dead. That was a combo. It counts. I know you know that I know that I know that I want this. But I did get it. Come grab me. Okay. Ooh, that worked out.
Good morning. It is 5 a.m. and we are now driving to Genesis.
After a grueling 14-hour drive, we finally made it to San Jose, California. This was my first time ever traveling out of state for a Supermajor, and I couldn't have been more excited. I entered as many events as I could, and even got to compete in Rivals 2 while I was there. I decided to enter doubles with my partner Bones, and even though we didn't do well, I'll always play doubles when given the chance. Piranha Plant might just be my doubles main. Finally, it was time to play singles. As I was waiting for my first match of pools to get started, I got approached by a bald man who asked me if I wanted to play some friendlies to warm up. The games went about as well as you could expect against ESAM, but I was just excited to get the chance to play against a top player in person. After that, it was time for bracket. My first opponent was Super Sven, a Donkey Kong main from California. Our first game wasn't close, but I was able to rally and take Game 2. Game 3 goes down to the wire, and I risk it all for a spike, only to mistime my tech and lose the set. Even though I lost, I still felt great about how I was playing, and was ready to make an insane loser's run. My next opponent was VLB Long, a Rob main from Canada. Unfortunately, the footage was lost, but I have a clip that more or less explains what happened.
Oh wait, that's the joke. I got robbed.
I went 0-2 at Genesis.
Failure!
It's okay though. This was my first out-of-state major, and Genesis X was still everything I wanted it to be, and more. This was my first chance to meet all of my favorite Smash celebrities in person, and I even got to interview one of them about our favorite low tier.
I am here with Sparg0, who is known as one of the best players in the world, and also one of the best Piranha Plant players. So, I would like to ask you, what do you think of Piranha Plant's place in the metagame?
He's like bottom 3. I don't think Piranha Plant's trash. Yeah, I don't think he's good.
What do you think is his biggest strength?
He's neutral B, I think. It's really good for ledge trap, combos, but I think that's one of the only thing he has.
What is his biggest weakness?
Lack of range. He's low. Yeah, pretty much that.
So you said you'd put Piranha Plant at number 3 on the tier list. Why is that?
Like bottom 3, because I think there's too many characters that are better than him, and I think he struggles against most of the characters which are like zoners, swordies, because I think Piranha Plant lacks a lot of range, and those type of characters are very relevant right now. So yeah.
One final question for you. If you had a pet Piranha Plant, what would you feed it?
Meat? Yeah, it's a piranha. I mean, or insects, I don't know.
Thank you for your time. Appreciate it, and good luck in the tournament.
Final results.
Piranha Plant is a weird character. Literally no one else in Smash works quite like Plant does. He's one of a kind, and that makes it really difficult to judge how good he actually is. Piranha Plant is a character of extremes. On one hand, he has some very unique strengths that nobody else has. But those strengths can struggle to shine when the rest of his kit can be kind of anemic at times. Piranha Plant is the kind of character that I think could still have a lot of room to grow in the meta. While I didn't get footage of this interview, I also got a chance to talk to Lucky, the #1 Piranha Plant player in the world. As someone who actually mains the character, he was a lot more optimistic about Piranha Plant, and gave me a lot of hope for the future of our leafy low tier. Not too long ago, Lucky placed 7th at Diamond Dust, which is arguably Piranha Plant's best result to date. And when I asked him what he'd feed his pet Piranha Plant, he told me tahini. Maybe that's why his Piranha Plant is spicier than everyone else's. While I didn't do well at Genesis, it was still a ton of fun to be a part of Plant Gang one more time. Piranha Plant will always hold a special place in my heart. And who knows, maybe I'll be a part of Plant Gang again in the future. But maybe it's time I follow in Sparg0's footsteps and leave the plant behind again for another top tier. Thank you all for watching, and I'll see you on Tuesday.
かかってこい。